Well, this is it. This is the night of the big bivvy, sleeping outside bivouacking world record. And this is where I'm gonna be. Gotta be honest, it's slightly bit more exposed than I would like. I was kind of hoping I'd maybe be a bit further into the forest just for shelter from the wind, but can't be too picky. At least the wind is a lot calmer now than it was earlier in the week. And fortunately, previous people have made a nice little sheltered area for the campfire, so I'm just going to use this. Saves me some trouble. Yeah, tell you what, I'm going to take advantage of the slight bit of shelter here. I'm going to set up camp here. And yeah, that's about it. It's probably the most simple camp I've ever had to set up. So I'm sure I've mentioned it already, but this is my first time bivouacking. And fair enough, I'm in a pretty sheltered place for that, so it's not the most extreme climate. But yeah, this is going to be a bit interesting. So I've got a sleeping bag liner, sleeping bag, the bivvy bag itself. Got a little thermal reflective layer there. I've got my sleeping mat, and just for a little bit of extra insulation, I've got a little bit of a tarp down here. I've kind of got these up. It's actually pretty calm at the moment, but just in case the wind did pick up a little bit, just to kind of help keep things pinned down. I've got some food in here. This is my breakfast. It is beans with a sausage, which I've frozen and just took with me frozen, because this will defrost overnight, and then I should hopefully be able to cook it in the morning. Tarp here, just in case I need an extra tarp if I have to sort of maybe move this up and improvise a shelter should it start coming down a bit heavier. Oh, and wrapped up in here is my tripod, which I will be using. Not much else in here. Some food and that, first aid kits, basic things, some extra torches, the like. Using my clothes as a pillow. Well, I will be. And a box of mostly flammable stuff. I've got wood and this packaging material, which I thought would make pretty good tinder. Got a load of stuff, basic things to help the fire along with, and my coffee, of course, and the usual face mask for getting transport. It's yeah, this is it. Well, I'll get to see the sunset at least in a little bit, so that's pretty nice. I'm probably going to move that fire maybe a little bit closer to here, and might just make it a little bit wider to my purposes. And, just get away from all the dead ash. Well, the ash and things, just to hopefully it'll light up a bit easier. So yeah, not a dramatic difference. I've just moved it very, very slightly closer in here. I mainly just didn't want to risk damaging the tree roots, so just thought I'd move it slightly. And, it's a little bit close to where I am, but, not too close. But hopefully the embers should still get off a bit of heat. Guess I should get around to making a fire. Hey. Alright, more or less set up. Guess I just need to get around to setting up the fire. So apart from some of the stuff I brought just to burn bits of wood, I also brought these. These are what I call fire boxes. Basically just a mini kit of things tinder, kindling, as well as a bit of wood, just in case I ever had to get a fire going somewhere. Made a few of these that just kind of stacked up at home, just in case ever needed, and thought I may as well try one out today. I've actually kind of forgotten exactly what's in this, so we will see. Box itself can be burned. This ribbon is paper, can also be burned. Paper as well. Some shredded documents, some pieces of scrap wood, that sort of thing. I think this used to be a piece of bed, if I remember correctly. But yeah, got all this, as well as just a lot of little bits of strips of wood, kindling for that, so it's pretty cool. Just in case that doesn't work, I do have other bits of wood and stuff in here. Other kindling dried moss, got one of these as well. I forgot what you bloody call these things. It's like a something burner, but basically it's like an emergency single-use sort of like lantern slash stove, but it's basically like a giant candle. You make it yourself. I have tried these out before. They are quite good, but that's just for an emergency. This is labelled first aid. There's some first aid stuff in here, but a lot of it, another burner, is related to other things. There's like a breakaway hand warmer there. There's glow sticks for lighting. This, which is a little tin I have, which just has some sort of mini fire starter things. So I've got cotton wool there because that burns quite well as a tinder. I've got combat storm matches. Got my fire lighter, an actual lighter, and a tampon, because believe it or not, these are actually quite good for starting fires. The cotton inside them just ignites straight away with a little bit of a spark from this. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. So I'll assemble just some basic things to get burning, and then see about getting a fire going. Alright, I guess we may as well try the tampon thing since I mentioned it. So I'll just pull it apart and just break it up a little bit. Like really sort of pull out the cotton so it's nice and open. It should get going pretty easy. I half expect I'm actually going to like fail on this time. There's a little bit of a breeze, but hopefully it shouldn't be too much to stop this, and there's a little bit of a shelter there. Okay, let's put that down. Zoom into that a little bit. Okay, yeah, make sure to take all rubbish with you. Don't want leaving anything like that. I haven't used this for a while. It might need to be replaced at some point. There we go. Should be fine. And there we go, pretty easy. It's went out a bit quicker than I would have liked. I mean, it's still smouldering, so you can still get it going, but just give it a little bit of a hand. And for a real thing to get it going, isopropyl alcohol. And things are instantly warmer. Yeah, I made these boxes ages ago, so I wasn't completely educated on what would be good for fire, so this stuff mightn't work terribly good. I'm sure if I do another one with a bit more research it could be a bit better, but so at least I brought a lot of flammable materials I can use. Let's pour some of this on. Just got the heat from the campfire there, so it's a bit cozy. We've still got some light at the moment, though the sun will be going down pretty soon. Yeah, it's pretty much mostly it. Now, at this particular campsite, when I've been here previously, we were allowed to use like one of the outside taps to get some more water, so I haven't brought any water today. Though, let me just adjust the camera. Though this time, when I have come here, that tap had a hose attached to it, and I didn't want to take it off, so I have just sent a message to the owner just to see if we are still able to use that water, if perhaps things have changed since the whole COVID thing. So I'm just waiting to hear a response to that. I sure hope we can use the water, because as I said, I have brought none. Stupid me has forgotten other important stuff as well. I think this is my little food bag here. I have this, which obviously I used to cook in. I also have like my gas stove top here as well for when I need it. Idiot, I have forgotten to bring my gas, so I mean, luckily that's not like the worst thing, because I do have a fire and I was planning on cooking on the fire if possible, if I can anyway. So I got my breakfast there that I have in the morning. I can just throw that right on top of some embers. I've also got this, which I'm having this evening, which is just a tin of meatballs, slightly past the expiration date, but should still be fine. So luckily I still have the fire, but one of the other things of course you use fire for as well, especially camping, is hot drinks. I forgot to bring either tea or coffee, so that's slightly irritating. I'm even thinking, because I have brought a flask of hot coffee with me now, I might even just drink half of this, then save the other half for the morning just to reheat on the fire, so I might do that. But the most important thing to drink is going to be, of course, water, so hopefully I get a message back and we can still use the tap, otherwise I might be a bit stuck. Just while I'm waiting for a response to that, I guess I'll just sit here and enjoy the view and enjoy the heat from the fire. Just threw a bit more on to make it a bit bigger. Well, we're finally getting the sun down, so about to spend the night here. I've got to say, the sky is quite clear, so I might even get some stars. That would be pretty cool. Obviously my biggest concern is just going to be if it's going to rain or not, and the temperature. I do have some extra clothing, some extra layers. My mummy's sleeping bag has a sleeping bag liner as well as the bivvy bag itself, and I'll also be going in it more or less fully clothed, so I don't think I should get too cold, but you never know. Of course I've got some spare clothes as well, should like condensation become an issue inside the bag. It is supposed to be a breathable bag, so hopefully it won't, but you never know. At least while I'm sitting out, this fire should provide a nice source of heat, as well as hot food, which I'm probably going to put on soon anyway. The big world record attempt. I should probably actually check to see if I'm allowed to get some water or not. I'll do that in a second. So, I was originally going to do another gameplay video this week of like Titanic Adventure Out of Time, like my second part of that, as well as do an update on the food and fitness thing, since I'm kind of doing those bi-weekly. To be honest, once I'm done with this tonight and like I get back tomorrow morning, I am going to have quite a lot to do. Like I'm going to post this video, but I've also potentially got some like visitors coming next week as well, so I need to like prepare for that. So I'm probably not going to get any gameplay or other footage done this week, so I'm just gonna guess I'll just make this little vlog my video then. Alright, I've just got word back. I am actually allowed to use the tap at the barn, so I'm going to run off and get some water. Kind of a lifesaver, really. But in the meantime, while I'm out, I'm going to have my dinner cooking. Just need to get it somewhere somewhat stable. Yeah. I'm just recording this as I'm going off to the big tap to get some water. It's just it really is actually quite a nice evening, like a little bit chilly. Like it's not a summer night, obviously we're still in spring, but like the weather could honestly be a lot worse, and hopefully it doesn't really get worse, but we'll see. Just need to get through one of the gates here. Just walking around the woods there, it kind of reminds me a little bit of what I kind of really like about outdoors folks, you know, like people who do like hiking, climbing, camping, like the similar stuff that I'm interested in. I don't really like using the word community very often because I think it's fucking overused by like every demographic on the planet. And you know, not everything you have an interest in or every hobby has to be like tied to a community. But there is honestly, yeah, maybe I do need to reevaluate that, because just talking about like the outdoors, like hikers, campers, like what I'm doing now, there is this kind of camaraderie about it in a way, like when you're out in the hills or in the country and you pass someone else come by, there's always like a wave, a smile, a nod, that sort of thing. And you know, it's like everyone here is out enjoying the same thing, and there is something like really nice about that. Although I haven't like gotten too close to anyone to really talk there while I was going through the woods, you can see, like, if you look up either side, it's like the glint of the fires in the distance of the other camping spots, and that's just really nice. Because although I'm kind of here on solo duties, you know, not really alone, and you've got people around, and they're all pretty much here for the same thing, unless some of them have some nefarious intent, but we'll see, or we won't, whatever. But yeah, just I may as well record this live reaction on my phone while I'm off to the watering hole to get some much needed fluids. I'll check you when I get back to camp, and hopefully my food will be warm by then. Yeah, I think that bubbling means it's probably hot enough. Let me just get that out the way. Hey, let's see what the light's like now. Yep, sun's pretty down. It's getting a lot colder. Oh yeah, I have a little light up there suspended where the trees are, and right there's the sleeping bag just illuminating on my head torch there. So yeah, it's a little bit of a chill in the air, but it's not like super cold or anything. Excuse me while I eat. I expected a bit more windy, but it's thankfully kind of chilled out a little bit for that. I think probably the biggest challenge, apart from maybe if I get a little cold, like I think I'm going to have to put on a second layer of socks just to keep my feet warm, because I know what I like when I'm in a sleeping bag. I think the biggest obstacle is just like the fear factor and the paranoia of being like out in the dark in the woods alone with, you know, not being able to see around and all these kind of noises of like animals and breezes and twigs and something else. I think that might be a little bit of a struggle, because I know what I'm like. I get paranoid. I get scary thoughts. It's God, like the time me and a friend had to essentially wild camp on like a mountainside in the Lake District because I fucking took us the wrong way. It was quite windy. It was wet, and we were in the middle of nowhere. In fact, where we were underneath an abandoned, like an old mine site. So there was like holes in the mountainsides. There was like old buildings no longer used around us. So basically a horror movie setting right there on its own. Never mind being alone in the woods. I think that one's even more of a dangerous, like a spooky setting. I had the worst fucking nightmares that night. Of like things outside the tent beckoning to come, opening the tent, getting like dragged out by some screeching monster, and yeah, it's not a fun time. So I'm just touching the can. Yeah, it's cold enough for me to hold, so that's not too bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was more of that coming tonight, but we'll see. I feel slightly more secure here, not that it jinx it or anything. But I know what I'm like. I'm paranoid. I'm very fearful. It's just one of those things I gotta like get over. Yeah, probably feel a little bit bad if I had company, but I don't. So there it is. I don't know if maybe a bit of ash or something got in there. I know exactly some of the thoughts are going to come to mind as well, because they kind of come to my mind right now, and I was expecting them. I watch a shit ton of true crime, and for some reason, like, I developed a real interest in John and Jane Doe cases. You know, like unidentified people who were found. You know, the dead, murder victims, and the like. And funny, not funny. It's actually like horrible and tragic. You know, often in places like the woods as well, and I just know what I'm like, because even when I'm at home, I'm sometimes like this, where I'll keep thinking about these cases, and I'll get the images of like either the post-mortem photos or the reconstructions in my head, and it's probably what's going to be happening to me at the night. I know I'm kind of setting myself up for it as well, but I know what I'm like. But to be honest, you might say I shouldn't really talk about these things, or I want to avoid these thoughts, but I think it's important to talk about these things. You know, fear itself, you know, you can be rationally afraid of things coming at you, like, you know, very present threats, but fear on its own is largely, as the first doctor said, kind of, fear itself is largely an illusion. So I think it's important not to like let it take over too much. The fire's dying a little bit. I'm just gonna pour some more fuel on the flames. And, you know, working through that is just kind of something that helps. There we go. This one is, I'm using, this one I have at 80%, it's hand wash, it's like 80% alcohol. It seems to just take a minute longer to reach the ignition point. I don't want to use too much of it, so I might need it for later on in the morning. Just get the fire going a bit more. Yeah, I've got a little lamp up there, which I might keep on as well. Depending. It's, I've got a little log smouldering on there. But yeah, fear. Like, fear is useful. There'll be moments where you find yourself in danger or in a risky situation, and you need that kick to move. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming, but I guess it's just how you deal with it. But a lot of times you can just be fearful, and it's definitely a thing. Like with me, like I know my upbringing and the way I am, certain mental issues. A lot of it's just really like anxiety and fear based. So it is important to, you know, try and work through that and get through that sort of thing. I cannot see what I'm eating right now. So I guess this is going to be a little bit of a test for that as well. I'll tell you what, it's a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. I know I'm in the middle of the woods. I think it's just because the fire is dying out a little bit, and I've got mostly just embers. And I'm used to camping with people, so there's usually more people around with their lights and stuff. Yeah, I think I'll just drink this. That is quite nice. I might see if I can put a bit more on this fire, just to keep it going a little longer. Face full of smoke there. Let's see if I can use some of the last drops of isopropyl. Not very good. I think I have some of my first aid kit. Just a second. But yeah, fear is important, but we can't let it completely run us. And I do wonder if sometimes we're a bit of a fearful generation. Unfortunately, there's like stuff going on in the world right now where people are kind of going through more than they really should, and stuff is probably going to happen yet. You know, even I'm a bit worried about it. Like even like selfishly in my corner of the world. But yeah, we just have to deal with what we can. And I think if there's something holding you back, like fear of whatever, then you know it's pretty good to get moving around that. Oh, I've got some of those solid fuel fire starters here. That will actually help a bunch. Just need to throw these under the log. Yeah, anyway, I'm just rambling because this is kind of my log, and hopefully not all being a bit too bored by this. And yeah, I'm sure if something does happen to me to justify my fears, you'll hear about it, but well, then it'll be a bit too late for me. Maybe I'll end up on a blame it on Jorge or a Lazy Masquerade video. Lazy Masquerade, I just uploaded a video there while I came back to the camp with the water. So I'm looking forward to watching that. Probably shouldn't watch it right now though, because that won't help things at all. Yeah, see, those firelights seem to be doing a pretty good job of helping that log burn. Just put a touch more fuel. Hey, that's good. Yeah, it's getting pretty dark now. There's still a bit of light on the horizon there, but I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be awake, really. Yeah, to be honest, the sooner I sleep, probably the better I'm gonna feel. Well, until the nightmares start, but that's just it's just a thing you gotta deal with. Yeah, no, it is still quite cozy. And hey, if we get clear skies and clear stars, I should get a pretty decent view of all that from where I am right now. Yeah, I probably didn't show it like too well. I am in a bit of a clearing, so like there isn't too much treetop cover right above me. So not so good if it rains or anything, but if the night stays dry, not bad either. To apologise for that slurping sound there. I was drinking what I thought was just liquid and got about 3 meatballs in there. Just a second. Well, that's my dinner done. The fire seems to be going down again. I should put my headlamp just so I can see what it is I'm doing. You can't see me at all. Just this light. Yeah. I'm used to camping, but it is kind of strange bivouacking for the first time. Like I've been wanting to do it for a while, but just feeling especially exposed. It's kind of curious. Just take a quick sip of this coffee. I guess there isn't like much else to do, really. Do I have anything else in terms of food? No, I've got like a sort of a porridge oat bar, and I've just got like my sausage and beans stuff for the morning, but you know, obviously I'll save that for the morning. Put my bloody leftover coffee in this flask, but since I didn't bring any more with us, guess I'll save some of this for the morning and just reheat it on the fire here. Oh, I should definitely drink some water. I've been getting a bit bad at drinking water recently. I tell you what, I do have £10 in cash with me. I am very tempted to head back to the farmhouse and spend that money on some more kindling and logs, just to keep the fire going a bit longer. I mean, originally I was going to try and sleep a bit earlier, but I didn't get up terribly early. And honestly, I don't feel tired right now. And I don't know if I'm just going to lie down on the bag. I'm just going to start going through crap in my head again. So do you know what? I'm gonna grab my cash. I'm gonna take a quick trip to the farmhouse and see if I can get a nice big fire going. At least just to keep myself entertained a little bit. Alright, I'm back. Got myself some wood. It is really dark now. Like the sun's just totally down and it's gotten a bit cloudy. Luckily it's quite easy to find my campsite because I have this like big lamp thing hanging off the tree. So it's not too bad. Can't really tell. I've got this focused on the fire now. So I've got myself some, probably an excessive amount of logs and wood and kindling, to be honest. But I had £10 in cash and it's cash only, so may as well get my money's worth and use it all. There was no change, so the wind is picking up a little bit. It's a bit more noticeable when you're like right out in the open, but I am semi in the open here, so I am probably feeling it a little bit. But let's try and keep ourselves warm for a little while and get a fire going. This should be a bit better. In fact, I just dropped a little cotton ball there on some of the still burning embers, so this actually shouldn't take much to ignite at all. Let's see if I can get it going. Right. Okay. Yes, we have light. Gotta try and get the lighting alright here. Yeah, I'm in the sleeping bag and the bivvy bag now. I haven't tightened everything up yet, just because I have to like have my arms out to record this, as well as like this lamp as well. We've got some stars out tonight, so that's pretty cool. Though that usually is also an indication that things are going to be a bit cold, but that was kind of be expected. Temperature's not too bad at the moment. I am pretty much fully dressed and I'm wearing another fleece layer on top. Almost got like a neck scarf to put on when I do tighten things up. I'm gonna listen to music for a little while. Maybe see if I can get to sleep. It's not that late, to be honest. It's it's only about 8:30 in the evening, but you know, I do just kind of want to try and keep cozy, get to sleep, and then get up early. In fact, I pretty much as soon as I get up, hopefully pretty early in the morning, like maybe even just after sunrise, I just want to get ready and go straight away. But no, this isn't interesting. Yeah, I just want to get back, get showered and get on with some other things as soon as I've had breakfast, but we'll see then. Anyway, I'm just going to log off for tonight, so see you in the morning, hopefully. It's just getting 7 o'clock now. I don't suppose it's been too bad a night's sleep. Honestly, the fear and nightmares I would expect, that didn't happen. It has gotten pretty cold, like my toes have went a bit numb as I usually expect, and I did have to get up through the night, put another layer of clothing. Probably would have been better if maybe I brought I've got one other like sleeping bag, which is like a 4-season one. I probably should have brought that instead of this 2 or 3-season one. That's not too bad. My lower back's hurting a little bit, which doesn't usually on this, so I don't know if I would have strained something otherwise, or to be honest, my self-inflating mat here does feel a little flatter than usual, so I wonder if maybe I just hadn't inflated fully by the time I've lay on it, or maybe there's a problem with that I need to address as well. But anyway, yeah, kept waiting up through the night just due to the pain and cold, really. Odd noises as well. Like, to be honest, I'm just looks like just birds I'm unfamiliar with, like different kind of bird song and chattering. So kind of odd, and kept sort of looking around just in case. But I've slept worse, I think. Yeah, I've slept worse camping. But yeah. Sure brought one with sleeping bag, that's probably just the main thing, and it's a bit thicker as well, so it might also help to cushion me from the ground a little bit more. But yeah, not too bad. Though it is still quite cold and I can feel it mostly in my face right now, I think I'm just going to start making a move on. I'll warm up in bed and get breakfast, so I think I'm going to get the fire going. Breakfast cooking. Guess may as well throw in yesterday's old coffee as well. Oh damn it! Thought it was black coffee. It's one of the few times I put milk in it. Oh well, bottoms up, I guess. Well, I've had breakfast. Got my reheated icky coffee here. See what it's like actually. Do you know what, that's not terrible. So, my breakfast, beans are fine, a lot of them were burnt, but that was just kind of expected. I just ate the ones in the middle. The sausage, to be honest, I probably shouldn't have ate that. I was just slightly iffy on it. It wasn't like hot inside. It had been on there a little while. I mean, it was soft, but when I cut it open, it was, you know, like white, grey inside. It wasn't like pink or anything, so I don't think it was raw, but still, I probably shouldn't have. So if I get food poisoning, that's why. And to be honest, I just threw everything else on the fire because I still have a little bit of wood here, and I'm not traveling back with any of it. So let's just enjoy this heat while we can, and then I'll head off. Hey, I found another oat bar, so score one for me. So, tell you what, beyond the coldness and stuff, I think the bivvy bag worked okay. I mean, fair enough, I haven't tested it in rain or anything, but in terms of like the breathability, my sleeping bag seems mostly dry. There was a touch of condensation on the inside of the bivvy bag itself, but just sort of where the opening was, where it was breathing in. But no, so far that Mountain Warehouse bivvy's working out pretty well. Anyway, I'm going to pack up the rest of this stuff so I can get moving. So, more or less ready. Everything's like packed away mostly. After you take things out, air them and wash them when I get back, but kind of everything's done. I've just got this camera and this tripod to pack away. I've got like the bags and stuff ready for it here. Got my hot reheated coffee, which, you know, it's still a blessing on a chilly morning. Just enjoying the last of the fire as well. So that was my first bivouac. Admittedly, I did have the advantage of having a fire nearby for much of the night, so it was more comfortable than a lot of people's bivouacs. But how did it go? Okay, I had cold feet, I had backache. Well, it's just sort of strained from the way I was lying, really. Once I've actually gotten up and moved around, I'm completely fine. But to be honest, that's kind of just normal camping stuff for me. Like, if I bring a sleeping bag that's a bit too light for the conditions, or like bring, a layering which isn't like, if I'm not like ground that's particularly soft, or the mat I've brought's either a little flat or not fully inflated. I think mine might not have actually been fully inflated, to be honest. I think I should have like left it open a bit long to let it self-inflate a bit more. That may have helped. And if I had a thicker bag as well, that would have helped with that, as well as the cold feet. But yeah, those discomforts, that's just normal camping stuff, really. So I had pretty good conditions. It was a chilly night, but it wasn't raining. I guess I was relatively comfortable apart from those two things. Do it again? Yeah, definitely. I just take a couple of extra precautions, like maybe a thicker mat, or at least make sure it's like inflated more. And if it's going to be as cold as this or a bit colder, like bring my like larger sleeping bag. But no, honestly, not too bad considering. I didn't sleep a whole lot, but kind of wasn't expecting to. No nightmares. That was nice. And just hope the world record attempt go well. I'm sure the organisers of it will be like tallying up people's entries and stuff all day. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah, not too much else to say really. Just gonna enjoy the last Aspire. Yeah, interesting night. I got to see stars, which was kind of cool. Not the clearest night I've ever had, because the clearest night I've ever seen, like a full field of stars, was in Norway, and you could see like the arm of the Milky Way galaxy and everything. That was just mind-blowing, amazing, very dreamlike. Here, although I am in a wooded and farmland area, it's still relatively close to civilization, so we still get a bit of light pollution, so you don't see like a completely clear sky. But no, pretty nice. Just cold and a little bit of a sore back, but I'll just do better next time. The ground I was lying on was really hard as well, so maybe I'll camp at a slightly softer looking spot. But yeah, first bivouac, that was fun. Hopefully next week I'll resume with the other videos, like the Titanic playthrough, and need to catch up on my food and fitness. Minor spoiler, not doing great, but we'll see how I do for the next week. Anyway, I'm gonna just warm my hands a little bit here, pack this stuff away, and then I'm gonna go home. So if you did watch all this, I hope you enjoyed it, and definitely plan on doing this again, just gonna be a bit more prepared. See you later. I'm just gonna warm my toes a little bit before I head off.